So I'm on Tresco, and I tried to do a film the other day, but it didn't happen. My microphones weren't charged. And then I've been really busy, and tonight I wanted to do one with the view, but I'm in silhouette, and I have no lighting, so you're going to get a white background instead. So we're in the studio that I get to teach in. Bring your hands to Namaskarasan, roll the shoulder blades deep into the back and quietly close the eyes. Release the tailbone down and just bring yourself into your center. So we're going to focus a little bit more on the inner legs and the work of the inner legs in certain poses. So from the inner groin to the inner knee. So let that area release down and allow yourself to be square, center on your buttock bones, your sits bones. Once you've made yourself feel central on the sits bones, you may need to adjust the buttock flesh. Once you've done that, then balance the waist and lift and lengthen the side waist. As you do that, it will start to feel like your inner corset has just kicked in. Okay, let me explain that. So release your hands from Namaskarasan. Open your eyes if they were closed. Look at the screen. If you think about a corset, you have the laces, which kind of, you've got the holes and the herringbone. I know it's very old-fashioned, just bear with me. But that herringbone stayed long. I don't think it shrank down. And often when we think of holding our abdominal area, the erectus abdominis is the space that we're mostly aware of, and we kind of pull that in. Now that shortens the body. It can put pressure in that lumbar area, but it can also put pressure down in the hips and in the pelvic floor. So what I want you to think about is your rectus abdominis being like the eyelets of your corset, okay? But then when I ask you to lengthen the sides of your waist, it should feel almost as if your corset has just been tightened just a little bit. You're not trying to not breathe. Yeah, you'll pass out if you don't breathe. And women used to pass out because they used to, why are those corsets so tight? So let the corset be comfortably supportive, all right? So you've got your groins releasing, relaxing down. The thighs feel nice and heavy. The pelvis is level. And then you've got your corset in and up. Okay, now I did once put tied, the head bandages that we have for migraines and things like that. That we use, or for just bringing the focus a little bit more on the inside of the practice. I wrapped one of those crepe bandages around my waist and it felt lovely. So if you want to run off and do that, you are very welcome. Maybe I'll do another video at some point with a bandage wrapped around my... Yes! I could wrap myself completely in bandages. For Halloween, I could be a mummy. Okay, stop there. Sit tall. Lift the sides of the waist up and then bring your hands back into Namaskarasan. Release and relax the shoulders, relax the leg groins and breathe. Just let the breath wash over the top of the skull, flush out the mind. And breathe. And let the eyes be quiet. Let the tongue be passive. If you can hear a strange buzzing sound, that's just the wind in the building, just rattling one of the doors. There's not much I can do about it. Lift the heart. As you inhale, release the eyeballs down. Don't let them come up and hit the skull. And then bow down the head. Release the hands. Raise the face and open the eyes. Maintain the lift. I'm just going to move this onto the other side, just in case it'll be less likely to pick up that sound. Okay, I'm hoping that might be a little better. Change across of your legs. So just take the legs out wide and then bring that leg that was in the front across and the leg that was behind in front. Make sure your knees are comfortable. And again, sit tall, Hands rest on the thighs and lift and lengthen up through the sides of the waist. And just look directly forwards now. So the gaze is a powerful thing. So let the eyes settle on something directly in front of you, and then just lift it up by about 2 inches of what you're looking at. So not very high, but just slightly higher. And let the inner body respond. As you let the inner body respond, make sure that those legs are still releasing down. They're not being forced down, just releasing down. Let the breath come towards the back of the chest again. And then bow down your head, lifting the heart again. Raise the head up and open the eyes. Okay, we're going to start with Adho Mukha Virasana, then into Adho Mukha Svanasana, but we're going to come in via a modified plank position as well. So we're coming to Chaturangasana, straighten up through the legs, and then dog head down. If you're not sure what I've just said, then you can see if you can follow the instructions. If you can't, just watch, because I will repeat it a couple of times. Okay, so come off your height. I've got some foam pads here today. I've got a bolster, I have a blanket, and I have a couple of belts, all right? Just so you know. So Adho Mukha Virasana, the big toes are together, the knees are apart, enough so that the sides of the body rest on the inner thighs. Walk your hands forwards, cup the fingers, and release the head down. Let the armpit chest go forwards. Let the tailbone release away from the back of the body. Keep the buttocks down on the heels. My fingers are cupped so that I can encourage the armpit chest and the latissimus dorsi to lengthen forwards. Make sure the forehead is releasing. If you're straining to get that forehead down, then rest your head on a block. There should be no strain felt. If your shoulders don't like this movement, then take the hands wider. But keep the arms dynamic to wake the arms up. If you can't kneel like this, then that's fine. Lie on your back and cuddle your knees in close. Or you can come so that if it's just the knees, it's not, they can't take pressure, but maybe you had an operation that stops them from bending. Yeah, you can lift your bottom up and you can stretch your arms forwards like so, which is also really good for the discs if you've got any kind of disc issues, quite literally. Okay, if you're in what I'm going to call modified dog pose with your bottom in the air but your legs are bent, come up and just walk your hands back now so that they're underneath your shoulders or slightly forwards of the shoulders. And now lengthen the spine forwards by moving the triceps forwards, shoulders stay back so the collarbones become broad, and press the ankles down. And if you've got a mat that's on a floor that might slide, just make sure that your mat is opened out, it's not rucked up between your hands and your knees. Okay, now if your knees are sensitive to being on the floor like this, you need to put a blanket underneath the knees. Okay, so we have to think of all these things. You know, if something's not causing, if something is causing a discomfort there, we need to give ourselves the support that's required. Okay, so now you're going to tuck the toes under, and you're just going to lift your knees, keeping the chest broad, keeping the tailbone long. Lift the knees an inch off the floor. That's it. Okay, you'll feel the abdomen working here. Make the spine long, keep the collarbones broad. Now can you straighten the legs back? It's your modified plank pose, modified Chaturanga Dandasana pose. You'll feel the legs working strongly. Keep the breastbone lifted a little so the back chest just behind your bra strap is moving in, so your thoracic spine. If you're a dolphin, it would be where your the fin would be, the dorsal fin.
Now, can you lift your hips up? Keep the arms forwards, lift the hips up as high as you can, make the spine completely long. Up, 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 up. Let the shoulders coming back. And just think about lifting those thighs as high as you possibly can. And now take the very top of the thighs back, lengthening through the back of the legs. Becoming long. And then come forwards, shoulders over the hands, modified plank, tailbone in, spine long. You'll feel the sides of the waist become firm. Keep that firmness and then bring the knees to an inch above the ground. And then those of you that are going to go to the modified dog down, rest your knees back on the floor, making sure you've got a blanket underneath to support it, and stretch your arms forwards. Otherwise, let yourself stretch the feet back and lengthen your bottom back. Rest the head down. Let the breath become wide. Eyes quiet, tongue passive. Rest the head. Come up, raise the head. Chaturangasana. Toes under. Lift the knees, just a little. Then stretch the legs back, keeping the legs straight. Power through the heels. Keep the arms firm. Feel here the weight that's going into the hands. Take the pressure off the baby finger side of the hand by pressing the space between the thumb and the index finger down strongly. Keep that strength as you lift up the hips. Go up, 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 go up. That's go up in Lucy language. Bottom up as high as possible, get the thighs up, spine long, and then top of the thighs. See if you can, that very, very top, if you've got puna pants on, see if you can lift the skin at the top of the thigh right up underneath the elastic of the puna pants on the front thigh, and then take that front thigh back and lengthen through the back of the legs to come into your dog head down again. Long legs. I apologise if you heard me swallow. Come forwards into the plank. Arms strong, weight back down in the wrists. Remember thumb side, index finger side. Stretch those heels back, work those legs. Sides of the waist should feel like they're supporting you. You should feel like you've got that corset still on. Bend the legs. Gently put the knees to the floor onto the blanket. Either stretch your arms forwards or big toes together, stretch back. Last time. Come up. Or walk your hands back from the modified dog head down. I don't think I said that last time, so I apologise. Separate the feet, tuck the toes under, lift the knees, engage the arms. Chest forwards. Make sure the hips feel level. Check that the knees are level. Both kneecaps facing towards the floor. Straighten the legs back, shooting the heels back. Collarbones broad. Heart lifted towards the face, so the back chest, that dorsal spine area is moving in. Engage the legs, lift up, keeping the arms still forwards, triceps pressing forwards. Only as the hips go back do the arms come back because they can't do anything else. Keep the triceps pressing forwards, keep the forearms lifting up, keep the weight in that space between the thumb and the index finger. Go up, go up, go up. Go up. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Top of the thighs, tuck them right up into your hips. And then take the whole of the leg back, stretching the heels down towards the floor. Relax the head. And forwards. Keeping those heels stretching back, keeping the heels stretching back, keeping the heels stretching back. Heels back, heels back, heels back. Breathe. Legs firm. Bend the legs and either stretch the arms forwards, bring the feet together and stretch back. It's just to warm us up a little bit. Okay, so the next thing that I want you to do is I'd like you to stand up and I'd like you to grab a foam pad. Okay, so when you're ready, up you come. I have a foam pad, one of these, and all you have to do is put it between the thighs and make sure it's going down properly. So if I turn sideways, you might be able to see I've got it between my legs. I haven't got it like I'm riding on a hobby horse. Feet coming directly forwards. Allow the tailbone to go down. Allow the frontal hips to feel long, but don't push them forwards. Okay, so you can do it against the wall. You can face the wall to do it, or you can have your back against the wall. But just think, it's an inner sensation of that area opening up, not a pushing forwards, not a gross movement. So just look down at your knees. Feel how when you look down at your knees, the heels become much more grounded. Check that the toes look long. The feet are doing the same thing. Okay, and then maintain that length of thigh, the place where, keep the thighs in the same place is what I'm trying to say. And now take the buttock flesh down towards that brick. Let it slide down away from the lumbar spine, and you'll start to feel internally that the frontal hip area will lift up a little. And again, you'll feel tone in your sides of the waist. Extend the arms down, lift up through the chest. Raise the arms up and just lengthen up, and again get a good length through the sides of the body. Breathe. And then release. Take some breaths. Extend down through the arms. Okay, we're going to use that action. So here, you're now aware of the inner thighs. And as you grip the inner thighs, if you just roll those thighs in, notice how the weight comes onto the mounds of the big toes. Now, can you keep the weight on the mounds of the big toes? So that's the largest part of the ball of the foot, just below the big toe, so the ball of the foot. And take the weight also to the outer heel. Now notice how that makes the hips grip in a little better. Okay? And stretch the arms down, widen the collarbones, lift the chest. Take a couple of breaths. And then release. So it's about getting these legs to stay moving back. Okay, I want you to take your bolster. And you're going to put the bolster long ways on your mat. And you're going to lie on it. Really simple. Very, very simple. I'm just going to do a Chaturanga Dandasana. Press the heels back. Get the inner thighs again to lift up. Yeah, so that it feels like the outer hips are rolling down. Stretch back into the heels. You don't have to lift yourself away from the bolster, but I want you to just de-weight the whole of the body up. So if you know when you do what's called block printing, or you've done potato printing, when you put the stamp down, you put it straight down. When you lift it up, you lift it straight up. So here we're doing block printing onto our bolster with our t-shirt. Okay, so just think about that. And so the legs work, and just de-weight yourself just a little. So you work the arms, breastbone moves forward, stretch back into the heels. Breathe, and then exhale, release. Okay, let the legs relax. Let's just do this 4 times. Stretch the heels back, power through into the center of the heels. Press down into the hands, collarbones broad. Lift yourself away from the bolster so the bolster becomes a little fatter underneath you, and then squish it. How many times do I say? 4. Okay, so we've got 3 more to do. Press into the hands, work the legs, press, lift. And then exhale, release. Legs firm, tailbone down, thighs up, stretch the heels, press. And then exhale, come down. Work the legs, inner groins up, so the inner thighs up, outer hips down, tailbone driving down towards the heels. Press into the hands, lift, breathe. And release, take a rest, last one. Okay, shoulders back, stretch back into the heels, work the legs, tailbone down, and lift. Keep the legs working. And then release. So you can do it from the floor, but if you've got a bolster, you can use your 4 foam pads. That works well. So now you should be feeling nicely warmed up for Virabhadrasana 2. We can do it in a different way. So if you know Virabhadrasana 2, you know that the legs are wide. And you also know usually we do heel in line with the arch of the back foot. What I'd like you to do today is we're going to take our legs just a little bit wider, and we're going to pivot on the ball of that front foot to bring the heel underneath. And so the heel is going to end up in line with the big toes on the back foot. Okay? So step your legs wide. And a little bit wider than you normally would, because as you pivot the heel in, the heel is going to get a little closer. All right, so first we'll just experiment with your Virabhadrasana 2 legs. Pivot that heel in, and then just see if you go down to right angle, whether you need to take your legs just a little bit wider. Okay, so if you know that your legs are happy with that movement, it makes it a little easier on the thighs, and it's also a little easier to keep the body upright here. Okay, so now my legs feel like they're super wide. If I was going to do Virabhadrasana from here, I'd end up almost in the splits if I did it traditional way. Stretch out the arms, open up the chest. Okay, now bring the heel underneath the knee. So check, is the heel now in line with the big toes? And then exhale, bend the leg. As you bend the leg, stretch from the inner groins out to the inner knees. Turn the head, look along the right arm and breathe. Keep the spine nice and long, legs beautifully firm. Keep the knee facing forwards. On the back leg, that straight leg, don't let the thigh collapse in on itself, so you maintain the pressure on the outer heel. Inhale, come up, and then pivot on that foot and bring that leg back. So the feet now should be in line, all right, but still very wide. And so now your left foot, pivot on the ball of the foot to spin that heel towards the front edge, that front long edge of your mat. And then exhale, bend the leg, keeping the body upright and releasing out through the groins again. Keep the weight on the heel on that back foot, and then turn the head and look along your left arm. Breath wide and smooth. Breathe. Open out the palms. Sit down into the pose. Inhale, come up. Bring the feet to face forwards. Extend out, legs together. As you bring the legs together, think about those inner groins. Take the inner thighs back. Grip the outer hips and bring the weight back into the heels.
Don't allow those groins to push forwards. Keep them back. Extend down through the arms. And then again, legs wide, Virabhadrasana 2. I'm stepping a little wider than they normally would be. Open out the chest. As you open out the chest, extend through to those fingers. Go out, go out, go out. And now on that right leg, bring that heel forwards. And notice as you do that, how that buttock becomes more active on that front leg. Now exhale, bend the leg, press that buttock forwards. Extend. Back leg firm. Body upright. Turn the head and look along that right arm. Breathe. Inhale, come up. Pivot on the ball, bring that heel back out to where it was. Second side. Arms up, stretching out. Exhale, bend the leg, stretching back through that back leg. So as you bring your awareness down into both feet, so it feels for me like my mind spreads. It's not just thinking forwards, it's thinking back. Turn the head, look along the left arm. Expand the chest. Inhale, come up. Bring the feet to face forwards, legs together. Stand tall, extend the arms down. Because we're talking about this area here, we're going to do Vrikshasana, just the one side of the side. So you're going to bend up your right leg, bring the foot to the top of the thigh, take the knee back. Lift up through the chest, stretch the arms out, turn the palms up, and raise the arms up. Now if you can bring your hands to Namaskadasana, do so. If you can't, keep the hands straight, but keep them stretching up. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Now pay very much attention to that left side. The straight leg through to that straight arm, okay? Because that's what we're looking for when we do the next pose, sideways stretch. Okay, take the bent knee back, press the bent leg buttock forwards. Keep the arms up, release the leg down, stand tall, and then lower the arms down. Legs wide. What? We didn't do the other side. Huh? There's a plan. Virabhadrasana 2. Okay, so just turn the left toes in, turn the right leg out. Exhale, bend the leg, Virabhadrasana 2. Now remember how that side of the body felt when you did your Vrikshasana. So you can rest the hand onto the thigh, elbow onto thigh, and bring that arm up and over the head. Now remember that length. Remember how the buttock pressed forwards and you took the bent leg back. Extend yourself, breathe. Relax the eyes and release the tongue. Look up towards the ceiling from underneath the arm. If you want to come down further, bring the hand behind the back and bring the hand to the floor. Behind the back, behind the leg. Sorry. It's been a long, lovely day. Now come back up into Virabhadrasana 2. Challenge is, can you keep your thigh where it is? Inhale, come up. Virabhadrasana 2. Come out. Legs to face forward, stretch out. Legs together. Stretch the arms down. Quick Vrikshasana, same side. Raise the arms up. Stretch up. Keep the arms stretched up, lower the leg down. Lower the arms down, second side. Pick up your left leg. Left buttock presses forwards, left bent leg moves back. Extend the arms, raise the arms up. If you can bring them up into Namaskadasana, with the arms straight, elbows in, do so. Weight back in the heel in that standing leg. Spine long, lumbar spine feeling completely released here. So there should be no pressure in it at all. Bent knee moves back. Bent leg buttock presses forwards. Right leg buttock is active. Keep the arms up, release the leg down. Stretch up. So now you know what we're doing. Lower the arms down, legs wide, Virabhadrasana 2. Bend the leg. Sit down in the pose, drop the shoulders. Turn the head, look along the left arm. Rest the left elbow on the thigh. Bring the arm over the head. Back leg really firm. If you wish to come deeper into the pose, release the hand down behind the ankle. Sit down in the pose. Keep both sides of the body long. Turn the head, look up towards the ceiling from underneath the arm. Lift up the chest towards the face. Breathe. Bent leg buttock presses forwards, bent leg knee presses back. Straight leg thigh presses back. Straight leg thigh presses forwards. What a lot of work. And keep smiling. Keep the legs where they are, Virabhadrasana 2. Look along that left arm. Inhale, come up. Bring the feet to face forwards. Legs together. Lift the chest, Vrikshasana. Bend up the left leg. Foot to the top of the thigh. Squeeze those legs together, lift up through the chest. Arms long. And raise those arms up. Relax the eyes and release the tongue. Look directly forwards. Get a good lift. And then release the leg. Keep the lift through the chest. And lower the arms down. Prasarita Padottanasana. So just half. So putting the fingertips to the floor. Take the legs wide. Have the knees coming directly forwards. Lift up through the chest. Exhale, fold forwards. Fingertips to the floor. Press the thighs back, press the triceps forwards. Get a good length on the spine. Spread out through the toes. Lift the chest. Now look up forwards so the chin becomes a little longer. Chin. So the front of the neck becomes a little longer, but don't jam in the back of the neck. Move the bra strap area deeper in. Just at the base of the shoulder blades, move that area in. Kneecaps lifted up. Don't forget the legs. Press the outer blades of the feet down so it doesn't feel as if you're just pushing out into the outer ankles. So the big toe mounds, the ball of the foot there, press that down. And then bring your hands to the waist. And then press into the feet to come up, or heel and toe the feet in towards each other to come up. Bring the legs together. Extend the arms down. Quick dog head down. And then exhale, come down. Upavistha Konasana, legs wide. Now when you do your Upavistha Konasana, if you are not sitting on the center of your buttock bones, if you feel like you're falling back, and if it looks like the knees are going back, yeah, because you can turn the legs like this, but actually if you're sitting with the groins coming forwards, when you go forwards, it's going to put an extra stretch on the inner thighs. So you actually might need to sit yourself up on a foam pad. Otherwise, if you press into your fingertips, you want to lift up your buttocks and then take the center of the buttock bones down. Okay? Now, I said I had two belts, but I don't have two belts. That's hilarious. I thought I had them here, but they're not. They're actually over there. So I'm going to grab 2 belts. If you haven't got your belts nearby, to come out, just put your hands behind the backs of the legs, bring those legs in, and then get up and go and get your belts. I'll take these 2 because they look similar size. Okay, so I've got my 2 belts now. Be prepared. Okay, so my legs are back in Upavista Konasana. So often what happens is when we go for a stretch, we just think about the stretch. And actually there is the balance of the work. To be able to get a muscle to stretch, we know other muscles have to work, but sometimes we don't actually experience the action. We have to experience the action to know what we're looking for. So I've made 2 nice long loops here. I've looped it around my heels. I'm going to hold the belts around the heels like so. If you've only got 1 belt, it is possible, if it's long enough, to loop it and hold and loop it and hold. Okay, and then roll the shoulders back and press those legs down. Spread out the soles of the feet. Lift up through the chest. Now, if you get this action correct, you'll feel that you're sitting in your buttock bones, and you'll feel that both sides of the waist are long. Let the gaze be directly forwards, and then lift the sides of the waist up. And just the very action of having those hands hold the heels like that should make it a very comfortable pose for you. If it's uncomfortable, then you can always put your back against the wall so that you're supported there. Now check that the big toes are going straight up, and then lengthen right up into those very, very tips of the toes, very, very ends of the feet. They get left behind so often, forgotten about. Lift up through the chest. And close the eyes if you wish, and breathe. Keep the backs of the legs softening down towards the floor, sucking the tops of the thighs onto the thigh bones, and drawing the very top of the hip back. Very top of the thigh back into the hip. Sacral area should feel very level, that it's not pushing in and making the lumbar spine feel like it's bearing the load. And then release, so let the legs, let go of the belts, move them to one side. You can rock back and just let the legs have a rest. So just sit just for a moment and cross legs. Put your fingertips behind you and lift the chest. Again, think inner groins to inner knees, let them relax there. Both sides of the waist long. Collarbones broad. And then change across to the legs. Lift up. Breathe. And then release. Take the legs wide apart. Again, if you haven't come off your foam pad, stay on your foam pad. If you came off it for the cross leg pose, sit back on it if you need it, because this time we're going to go forwards.
Okay, so the knees face the ceiling, the thighs draw back as if you've using those belts to pull your legs back. And you can either bring your hands forwards and just very gently, don't think about trying to go forwards too far, but think about rolling over the pelvis to allow the body to come down. You can rest your hands maybe on a couple of foam pads here, maybe over a bolster, or just keep the arms straight. Yeah, those of you that wish to hold the big toes, you can hold the big toes or you can hold the belts. Inhale, lift the chest up, but keep the buttock flesh broad. Keep the tailbone moving down a little bit, and then roll from the hips down, widening those elbows, and release the head down. Keep your elbows broad, collarbones wide. Couple more breaths here. If you've had enough and you want to come up, you can either keep the hands on the feet or you can use the hands to press yourself up and sit tall. Grab your 2 foam pads and we're going to do Supta Baddha Konasana with our legs on 2 foam pads. Okay, so put the 2 foam pads just below where your bottom's going to be. They're going there. Okay, I've got to move it a little bit away from the wall so I'm not completely straight on my mat, just so that you know. Soles of the feet on the foam pads, bottom hotches in. You're just going to press, very gently lift the center buttock up, and you're going to increase the length from the inner thigh out to the inner knee. And you're going to clasp the elbows and allow the elbows to come up and over the head. Keep the center buttock just gently pressing up and the knees just gently pressing down. Make sure that both sides of the waist feel level. And then change your clasp of the elbows and bring the arms back up and over the head. Lower the arms down, put your hands underneath the thighs and bring the legs together. Roll to your side to sit up. Back to Upavista Konasana. Forwards. Legs wide. So if you don't fancy going forwards, stay upright. You can just sit, you can use the belts again, really nice on the legs. Otherwise, here you're going to inhale, spread the arms out for those of you taking the big toes, or place the hands down on the floor. Exhale, fold forwards, pick up the big toes. Inhale, lift the chest. Keep the tailbone moving down. Roll over the pelvis, widen the elbows, come down. It should feel a little bit easier. Stay for the count of 5, but not like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A bit more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look forwards, press into the feet, lift up through the chest. Bring the arms back up, stretch the arms out, or walk your hands back. And exhale, lower the arms down. Take your inner knees, rock back, and bring the legs together. The next thing we do is Supta Padangusthasana 2. Okay, so what I want you to do is you can use 2 foam pads, but I want the foam pads, one flat and the other one on a slight slope. Okay, and that slight slope is going to come in right close to your hip. So you're here. I'm going to do my right leg first. I'm hoping you can see that one brick. They're not very bright, but this brick is coming in so that the edge of the brick, can you see? it can move. So it's like if I spin it around again, it's like one's on a slope. And you've then got, you have the choice as to how high that slope is depending on how much that brick is in there. Okay? You can use a belt around the foot, which I'm going to do. You're going to raise your right leg up so it's in a nice long state. So know that we're not trying to just go for maximum stretch of the leg. We're going for an inner length. So that means that the front and the back of the leg are known in this pose. Both sides of the waist are long. And then with an exhale, allow that awareness to be in the heel, heel to hip, and take the leg out to the side. Spread out through the toes. Press down that left leg strongly towards the floor. Just have a little glance. Make sure that the big toe is facing up towards the ceiling. Right leg is going out to the side. And breathe. You can stretch that left arm out if you wish. I'm using my left hand to press down on the hip because I've got this wall to the side of me. Now contract the buttocks and notice how when you press that right leg buttock up, so don't allow the leg to roll in. So keep the inner thigh releasing outwards, the inner thigh rolling towards the outer thigh. So you've got this rotational action there, like you'd have in Trikonasana. Couple of breaths. And then raise the leg up. If that felt comfortable and you wish to, and the tailbone stayed in the center, yeah, then draw the leg a little bit higher and then exhale, take the leg out to the side again. Breathe. And then with an exhale, raise the leg up. Release the belt, lower the leg down, and see how both sides of the body feel. Now, interestingly, although this was the leg, the right leg was the one that went out to the side, that's the leg that feels straighter, and that hip feels much more in line than my other leg. So that's my observance of what's gone on for me. Carefully roll to your side, sit up. If you're going to change sides because you've got a wall, otherwise move the bricks to the other side. And be ready to lift your left leg up. So legs are stretching away. Belt is coming onto the heel of the left leg. Raise the left leg up. Again, make sure that leg feels internally long. Looks straight externally as well and feels like you know the front and the back of the leg. Make sure this right leg doesn't lose the sense of firmness that it got from the pose. And then heel to hip, exhale, take the leg out to the side. Breathe. Inhale, come back to center. If you feel like the leg can come a little closer, draw the leg just a little bit closer, slide your hand up the belt, and then again, take the leg out to the side, getting a good rotation. Supta Padangusthasana 2. You'll feel the inner thigh releasing as you breathe, as you allow it to release, but keep that action, the strength through the leg at the same time. It's not just, you're not just trying to stretch it. You're trying to keep some support in there as well. Exhale, bring the leg back up. And then lower the leg down. Compare the two legs, compare the sides of the waist, and just see how they feel there. Okay? Roll to your side and sit up. Janushirshasana. I don't know whether you can see my legs if I come it this way around. Possibly not. Right, I'll demonstrate this way around, then I'll show you from the side. You're going to bend back your right leg for your Janushirshasana. So here, when you take the leg out to the side, try not to let the straight leg shoot forwards. So you're there. I like to keep the knee down. I like to get a good rotation in the thigh. It's quite dark in here. I hadn't realised quite how dark it was. It was lighter before the sun went down. Okay? And then you want to lift and turn towards the straight leg. So that's all you're going to do to begin with. Take that leg back. Inner groin, keep it back. Don't let this leg shoot forwards. Often in Janushirshasana, the leg looks longer than it normally does. So you go, wow, I've suddenly got long legs. Nope, you just shot that leg further forward. So stay on the buttock bones. And now release your right leg, stretch it forwards. Okay, now bend back the left leg, keep the right leg where it is. So be super mindful of the placement of that leg and just let the left thigh rotate out. Heel ideally comes to its own groin. Lift and turn, admiring your right leg. So I said, straight leg. Inner groin back, knee level, toes going up. And then release. Okay, I'm going to spin sideways. All right, so we're going to bend back the right leg. Okay, so, we're going to bend back the left leg. I should spin the other way around then. Legs are firm. Okay, bend back your left leg. And bring the heel into its own groin. Draw the straight leg back, lift and turn. Raise your left arm up and stretch up. Turn the body towards the straight leg, look up, get a good length. Exhale, fold forwards, take the foot. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Moving that back chest in, and then exhale, fold down. Relax the eyes and release the tongue. Levelize the shoulders. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale. Inhale, come back up to sitting. Stretch your left leg forwards. Bend back your right leg. Turn the body. Raise your right arm up. Stretch up. Fold forwards to the foot. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, both hands forwards, widen the elbows. Release the head down. Breathe. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale. Inhale, come up. Right leg forwards. Sit tall in Dandasana and just feel how the back is. Inner groins down. Press the legs down strongly. Try not to push into the lower back. Bend back the left leg. One more time, Janushirshasana, getting a good rotation. Turning towards that straight leg. Inhale, raise the arms, turn the body. Exhale, fold forwards, take the foot. Inhale, lift the chest. If you can't reach the foot, use a belt, please. Exhale, come down.
Elbows lifted, shoulders away from the ears. Inner knees. So keep the inner knee on the straight leg, pulling back into the hip just a little and keeping that knee square to the ceiling. Inhale, look forwards.
Lengthen through the spine. Sides of the waist long. Exhale. Inhale, raise the arms up, stretch up, lift up, and lower the arms down. Left leg forwards. Make sure that it's the same length as your right leg. If it looks shorter, the chances are you shot your right leg forwards. Bend back that left leg, get a good rotation, heel into its own groin. Ooh, I moved in closer to the wall. Try again. Bring the leg out to the side, Miss Aldridge. Everybody else is there already now. The head of the knee is down, the head of the shin is down. The back of the knee of the straight leg is down. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold forwards to the foot. Inhale, lift the chest and look up. Let's lengthen both sides of the waist. And then exhale, widen the elbows, come down.
Levelize the shoulders. Breath wide and smooth. See if you can ease into it just a fraction more. Inhale, look forwards.
Extend, lengthen the sides of the waist. Exhale. Inhale, raise the arms up. Stretch up. Lower the arms down. And release the leg forwards. Sit in Dandasana. Lift the chest. After those forward bends, Dandasana should feel quite pleasant. You can put your hands behind and roll the shoulder blades deeper into the back to give the back a little bit more support. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to lie down with our legs up the wall, with the legs going wide. You can put a blanket underneath your pelvis, give it just a little bit of softness to rest upon. So I'm putting the blanket in the center of my mat. Legs are coming into the wall, and let the legs go wide. Let the arms spread out so you're feeling nice and broad. See if you can get the legs to be as level as possible. So maybe if you've got someone in the room, they could tell you, I'm hoping that my legs are level. I'm hoping that the camera isn't on a wonk as well, because that could make it look even more exaggerated if one leg is higher than the other or whatever. So if you had wall boards going that way, that would be a really good, or stripe wallpaper. You could count the stripes going up as long as they were parallel to the floor. So you're releasing from the inner thighs out. Know that you don't have to force the legs wide. Just find out where they're happy. Keep the thighs contracted softly. Keep the heels extended. Toes are open. Just the very nature of opening up the soles of the feet make the legs, I'll call it passively active or actively passive. I'm not sure which way around. I think probably passively active. So they're not rigid and tight.
Just press the backs of the hands into the floor a little again to make the arms passively active. Abdomen gently rises and falls. Try not to let the shoulders roll away from the floor so the heart feels like it's lifted towards the face. Okay, so now just put your hands underneath the back of the thighs, the underside of the thighs, and just let the legs come in. Baddha Konasana feet. So from here you might find, if you let the legs come up a little bit and draw in, and you use your arms to come into the pose, so you're not using the legs so much, so you don't overwork released legs there. Make sure the knees are comfortable. And just press the outer blades of the feet towards each other. If you wish, you can put your hands onto the center thigh and just encourage the skin to spread out from the groins there. Now put your hands onto the back of the legs and draw the knees together, and then stretch the legs up. Feet just a little bit apart, heels lifted, arms out to the side, toes long. This is a supported Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. Really good for venous return, lymph drainage, helping knees heal, helping the circulation in the feet. Encouraging the arterial tone through the legs. Gita used to say it was good for sciatica, so relieving sciatic pain. Because so often we spend so much time standing on our feet. With our legs supporting up and our spine collapsing down. So this is the reverse. The spine is able to be supported and the legs are able to be released. If this is too much on your legs, you can rest your legs, the calves, on a chair. This is an incredibly restful pose. And close the eyes, relax the face. If you feel the need to move to Shavasana, you are very welcome. If you feel the desire to put your legs on a chair, then you're very welcome to do that too. So I will do that now. If you're happy with your legs up the wall, everything feels lovely and it feels wonderful for you, just stay there. Okay, use this as your relaxation at the end of the session. I shall go and grab a chair.
So I like the Iyengar chairs because they just seem to be the perfect height for everything. But the only problem with them is they're metal, and that makes them a bit cold. So I've got my blanket. I'm going to put my blanket onto the chair like this. Okay, so this is just resting the legs on a chair. You may want a pillow or a foam pad for your head. You want to make sure the chair is the right height for you, so you can always put a foam pad underneath your bottom if that's required, or I prefer a blanket. Put your calves on the chair and make sure the calves are spread evenly. Walk your elbows back, lengthen through the spine. Place your block well so that you can feel it supporting the whole of the neck. Have the palms facing up. Tuck the shoulder blades in. And just gently close your eyes. Let the legs release completely. Relax the face, relax the eyes, release the tongue. And it's time to get up. You can bend up the legs or bend the legs away from the wall, putting the feet on the wall. Carefully roll to your side and sit yourself up. I'm very comfortable here. I'm going to say thank you very, very much if you've managed to stay through the whole thing. If you have, then thank you for staying.